I was out past the third ridge when I heard the growl. Not the kind that warned you away, but the kind that meant someone was in pain and trying very hard not to show it. I scanned the clearing, slowly crouched, low brush in hand, and there she was. Massive, broad shoulder crouched in a way that made her muscles coil like ropes under her mottled fur. She was wounded. Her leg was drawn up, and a long black thorn stuck through her thigh like a spike of obsidian. Even injured, she looked terrifying. Claws like curved daggers, eyes like burning copper, ears twitching to every rustle of grass. She smelled the air once, then her gaze locked on mine. I froze. She growled again and tried to rise, stumbled, swore in a language I had never heard, and then in broken English shouted, "If you keep looking, I'll pounce. Now hurry and get the thorn out." I blinked. "You want my help?" She snarled and bared fangs. "No, I want to sit here bleeding into the dirt until a predator eats me. Yes, of course I want help." I didn't argue. I stepped forward slowly, holding my hands up to show I had nothing but a med kit and maybe 2 brain cells left for walking into this madness. She didn't lunge, didn't bite, just kept watching me like a lion watching a cub playing at bravery. "What's your name?" I asked as I knelt beside her. She narrowed her eyes. "Do you really think now is the time for introductions?" "Helps calm the nerves," I said with a nervous laugh. She sighed and looked away. "Call me Sarah." I nodded. Sarah, fitting name for a creature that looked like she'd been forged from survival itself. The thorn was deep, maybe 6 inches of it buried through the muscle just below her hip. Alien flora was nasty stuff, and this one pulsed like it was alive. I took out the injector, loaded a numbing agent, and glanced up at her. "This is gonna sting," I warned. She grunted. "I eat things that sting. Human, do your worst." I pressed the injector in. She flinched once, then stilled. Then I grabbed the thorn and pulled. It came loose with a sound like tearing meat, and she hissed so loud it shook the air. But she didn't strike, didn't scream. She just clutched the ground and growled deep and low and ancient. I tossed the thorn aside and cleaned the wound, wrapping it tight. "That should hold until you regenerate," I said quietly. She looked at me again, her copper eyes searching my face. "You're not military," she said. "Nope," I said. "I'm a Xenobotanist. Just here to study the plants, not the wildlife." "You talk too much. And you're not as scary as you think," I replied before I could stop myself. She blinked, and for a second I thought she might actually smile. Then she stood, tall, unshakable, blood still trickling down her leg, but already healing fast. She looked at the horizon, then back at me. "Come." "What?" "You saved me. That means I owe you, and I hate debts. Come. You're not safe out here alone." She turned and limped toward the trees. I hesitated only a moment before following, because something told me leaving her alone was more dangerous than staying near her. We hiked for over an hour, me stumbling through roots, her gliding like she owned the forest. Eventually we reached a ridge where a narrow cave mouth yawned behind a curtain of moss. She ducked inside and I followed. Her den was surprisingly clean. Skins lined the floor. Carvings and bones decorated the walls. There was even a pile of carefully dried herbs and meat. "You live here?" I asked. "Yes." She knelt by a fire pit and started building a flame with sharp, quick movements. "What happened out there? How did you get hit?" "Poison thistle," she said, careless, wandering. I was tracking something else, did not see the vine. "You live here alone." "For now." I sat against a warm stone and studied her. The way her tail flicked when she concentrated. The way her scars caught the firelight. She was beautiful in a way that had nothing to do with symmetry and everything to do with survival, with strength, with pride. "You could have killed me back there," I said. "Yes," she replied simply. "Why didn't you? You look like someone who needed to be needed." I snorted. "And what do you need, Sarah?" She paused and said quietly, "A reason to stop running." The fire crackled between us. Outside, the suns dipped low, casting gold and violet light into the cave. She watched me with those unreadable eyes, and I suddenly felt like I'd walked into a storm with no map. "I should go," I said softly. No, not until the moons rise. It's safer here." So I stayed, and she talked, told me stories in fragments. About her clan, about exile, about how she was too aggressive, too wild, too much. "They said I couldn't be controlled," she murmured, "so I left before they tried to cage me." "You're not Too much, I said before I could think better of it. You're just enough. For the right person. She stared at me, hard, long, then stood and stepped close. Close enough that I could feel the heat of her skin and smell the wild scent of bark and blood and wind. You keep looking like that, she growled, and I will pounce. My breath caught. Then do it. She blinked. A low chuckle rumbled from her chest. She turned away, tail flicking. Maybe later. You're still too soft. I laughed quietly and leaned back against a stone. We stayed there until the moons rose. She walked me back to the edge of the forest, but didn't say goodbye. Next full cycle, she said, come back with stronger eyes. And then she vanished into the dark. I did come back. Again and again. And every time she let me a little closer. Taught me to hunt. Taught me to move. Taught me to live. And one day when I reached for her hand, she didn't pull away. Instead, she said, about time, human. Then she pressed her forehead to mine and whispered, I'm not wild because I'm broken. I'm wild because I survived. And you make me want to stay.